Okay, folks, welcome to Best Stock Charts for the new trading week. This is Bob Desmond, and what we're going to talk about today are A1. We're going live tonight. It being Sunday night, that means that it's Sunday Night Futures Live. You got to join us, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Use the link below. Sign up for my 5-part video tutorial for my top 5 favorite candlestick patterns. When you do so, you get alerted 15 minutes to a half hour prior to us going live, or you can just simply subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and get alerted when we go live. Also, we're going to be talking about how was our week last week. How did we do? We're doing really, really well. We'll talk about that. We're going to also talk about my top picks for the new trading week and week. So let's get to it. Let's talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about why you need to avoid Chinese stocks and why I believe that we're going to see a stock market rally. I've talked about it for the past couple of weeks. I have not been bullish. However, I've been saying get prepared for me to turn bullish. I have now turned bullish, at least for the short term, from now to possibly the first of the year. After that, who knows what's going to happen. The reasons of why we're here, meaning why the market is down on the year so much, it really hasn't changed that much. We're still heavily indebted. There are a lot of problems out there, geopolitical and U.S.-based problems, and they're not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere fast. So we are still very cautious, and in the short term, again, we are less bearish than what we were, but now we want to take a look at opportunities to get long of the market as we proceed into a seasonally favorable period of time. Again, we're going to talk about that in greater detail tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. How was our week last week? It was really good. Our gold mining stocks did a great job of reversing on the week. You saw the dollar pull back. Therefore, our gold position, silver position, gold mining stocks, silver mining stocks all did very well. Our earnings trades, by and large, did well. We had a little bit of a problem with Lockheed Martin. We're still in that trade. We just broadened out our option strikes, and that position should expire, ideally worthless this coming week. The chart is looking pretty good, but I'm looking for a pullback and then a continuation move on Lockheed Martin. Perhaps we'll talk about that next week. If we do get the pullback, a higher low. Their earnings were okay, but you're seeing the defense stocks come to life here, and I don't want to fight what could be the beginning of a trend in defense, so we're going to look to book profits and move to the sidelines. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the charts that we like moving into the new trading week. And what we're liking in particular are names that move inversely of the U.S. dollar. Why? The U.S. dollar last week flashed this is the dollar bull ETF, flashed a bearish key reversal bar. I think that we may get a lower low on the U.S. dollar. And by the way, our sponsor here is TrendSpider, automated technical analysis. A great tool to be using if you're the small investor, you're looking for an edge versus your competition. TrendSpider's for you. They've been a sponsor of mine since 2017, and we love them. We use them here, obviously. And they have automated trend lines. We'll be using them today to identify where we may have support and resistance levels and where the best risk-reward entry point might be. We're also going to be using their trade alerts to help set up our entry points and perhaps exit points. So down below, 35% discount code to TrendSpider. It's the cheapest price on the web. Take advantage of it. Use our discount code. There's a link below. It'll take you over to their website. They have a 7-day free trial offer. I believe in it so much that I give it away free to our silver and gold level members, and I give a 14-day free trial offer to members to the Contrarian Trader. So let's get to it. So bearish reversal bar on the week last week. It looks as though we're topping out on the U.S. dollar. What does well when the U.S. dollar pulls back? Emerging markets, commodities. Why? Emerging market debt is priced in U.S. dollars. So if the dollar pulls back, that's like a tax cut for emerging markets. You saw Mexico rally last week. You saw Latin America rally last week as a whole. You saw Brazil rally last week. All of these did very, very well. We have an ETF that we're investing in ex-China, and that did very well last week. We're going to talk about it tonight. What was China down last week? Well, take a quick look. This is why we want to avoid Chinese stocks. It's just a brief preview of what we're going to be talking about. The emerging market space was up last week. This is the FXI. China was down. You got to avoid China right now. It's a basket case. Might it ultimately rally with the overall markets globally and emerging market-wise? Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think it's an investable market. They are corrupt. So back to what we're looking at for the new trading week. First up is going to be ILF. This is Latin America, folks. And we're going to go over just weekly charts for members. If you're going to sign up, become a member, we'll talk about these stocks throughout the week. We'll talk about when we're going to enter these trades. These are longer term position trades, not day trades, and perhaps not even short term swing trades. More likely they're going to be longer term swing trades, /position trades, because we're breaking out a big basis here on a weekly time frame. So let's get to it. So last week we saw a major breakout on emerging markets. Why? Again, US dollar down, emerging markets up. RSI putting in higher lows, stochastics higher lows and higher highs along with RSI. Let's take a look at the automated trend lines weekly time frame. You could see that we broke out on the ILF. This is the Latin America 40 ETF. We broke out, failed to hold the week of the 12th, rallied back, and we gapped up the week of October the 3rd, consolidated at this VWAP in orange, and last week a continuation breakout. That's a buy signal. If the dollar puts in a new lower low this coming week, we may be buyers of the ILF because the trend is beginning to become more established. Volume last week could have been a little bit better, but we're liking ILF. Members, we will be sending out trade alerts if and when we do decide to get long of the ILF. The next chart up, UNH. This is a healthcare provider. Weekly chart. And what we're seeing here is a major breakout on UNH, and you can see that I had prior drawings up here. They just popped up. Now we broke out above this upper band of declining resistance, and what did we do last week? I had drawn these several weeks ago. I forgot I did them. We broke out and above this upper band of resistance on a weekly time frame. So what I want to do here, I want to create an alert. I want to know when we touch or retest the breakout point, and then we may be looking to get long of UNH. So here's our alert. It's set up. We'll keep this active for a couple of weeks. We want to know when it touches, bounces, UNH, weekly breakout point retest, weekly buy signal. That's the purpose of why we're going to buy it. This will fire off on your phone, laptop, both, whatever you want. TrendSpider, 35% discount code below. Create an alert. We're good to go here. Our alert is set. We set it and forget it. If it doesn't retest that support level, well, then we don't chase it. We don't do anything. It's a rules-based approach. If this, then that. If we retest weekly support this coming week and we hold it, we'll be buyers of UNH. It's looking really good. Stokes are hooking up, RSI hooking up. Volume was good the week prior to last. Last week, volume was okay. Would have liked to have seen a volume bar above the moving average and ideally above the prior up volume bar, but it's good enough for government work. We'll take it, looking for that retest and a follow through to the upside. The next chart up, BP, British Petroleum. Now tonight on Sunday Night Futures Live, I'm going to be talking about a major divergence that's occurring in the correlation between oil and the energy stocks. So join us tonight. We'll be talking about it, why oil is down, yet energy stocks still are moving up higher. What gives there? We'll talk about it tonight. Okay, so BP weekly chart, we have a nice move up higher. And if you take a look, I'll take the trend lines off. throw them back on. I didn't draw these. You could see that we have recaptured support the week of October the 3rd. Consolidation, retest 1, retest 2, follow through to the upside. We do have resistance immediately above at, let's call it 3150, round it up. If we rally through and close above 3150 on the week, well then we're going to want to be buyers of the shares. We don't want any sensitivity, meaning we want to only buy BP, and this is again a weekly chart. We only want to buy BP when the shares appear poised to close above weekly resistance. So if we rally through 3150 on Monday morning, are we going to chase it because it's above our buy signal? No, because it could easily fade, right? We don't want to get lured into a bull trap. Way too many of those. We're still in a bear market, so we want to be cautious. And there we have it. So breakout, BP weekly breakout. We want to buy above. A little bit of clerical issue there. And we'll keep this active for the next couple of weeks. And again, folks, we're using TrendSpider, 35% discount code below. We're good to go here. Our alert is set. So BP looking good. We're looking for a continuation breakout tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be talking to you about why be careful about buying the energy stocks daily time frame because of a specific reason. I'm going to tease you with that. Join us tonight. Doesn't mean that later in the week we can't buy them, but on Monday morning I would avoid buying the energy stocks. We'll talk about it tonight. Another energy stock that we're watching, and I really like this chart, is Apache. Take note, I took off the automated trend line, throwing it back on. If you would have had an alert set here and you bought at this bottom back in July, the week of July the 11th, look at the profits that you would have had. And if you were really watching this and you were looking for an entry point, I drew this line myself. And we played connected dots. This is a manual trend line that I drew. If you set up an alert, you can easily do that, create an alert. If you would have bought the breakout, you'd be sitting pretty right now. So why do we like the shares? Well, we've already broken out, right? We were in a long-term downtrend channel. We broke out. Now we have a continuation move up higher. I think that we need to be buyers of Apache should we begin to break out above resistance at 43.50 per share. So we're going to create our alert. All right, so we have a breakout, weekly breakout. Is the rationale of as to why we want to buy the shares, and we have a 14-day time frame before this expires. Plenty of time. So this is a chart that's looking really good. Add to that, if you take a look at your RSI, higher lows, and folks, higher highs. This is the value of using your momentum indicators. People use your stochastics and RSI for all the wrong reasons. These are momentum indicators. If they're going in the wrong direction, meaning going south, moving lower, rallies tend to fade, right? When they're moving up higher and they're stair-stepping higher, well then, you could buy the dip. If you move lower in the morning, there's a very good chance that you move up higher because the shares are under accumulation. Look at the chart of Apache. What are we doing? Higher lows, higher highs, the shares are under accumulation is validated by price. So this is why we like Apache. The next chart up, AXO, and this is a military defense contractor, much like Lockheed Martin, which I mentioned earlier. And Axon Enterprises is a very, very good looking stock. It's in the very early stages of a major breakout here. In fact, I'm going to throw up the automated trend lines. Again, this is the algorithm working for you. I've never analyzed this stock before in my life. So here we go. So here we have this is the computer doing all the work for you. Lower band of support, higher lows, and what did we do? We broke out above the upper band of resistance in red last week. Very nice candlestick. We cleared prior resistance. This is a stock that wants to move up higher. Now, may it retest this breakout point? Could be. It'd be a great place to buy, right? Because you put your stop loss immediately below this, what should be now a support level. If it doesn't act as support, well, you get out with a small loss. So we're going to create an alert here. I want to know if we break through, touch, bounce, and we'll keep a little bit of sensitivity on, a little bit. And again, we'll keep this active for 14 days. That's my usual time frame. Let's go with the confirmation candle of 30 minutes. That really puts it on the front burner of our watch list. Not that we're going to buy it simply because the 30-minute candlestick fires off on a retest. It's just something that we want to keep an eye on. We're going to watch for the behaviors of the stock. So, a really pretty chart. Again, this is a weekly chart. It's not a daily chart. A lot of noise in the daily chart. We're using weekly charts on a weekend to identify opportunities going into the new trading week. Now, RSI looking very strong. Higher lows and higher highs. Again, it's a momentum indicator. It's going to be used for overbought, oversold reasons. Sure, I use it for that as well. However, the most bang for my buck is identifying where's the momentum. Are we seeing higher prices, higher highs, and higher lows, yet RSI is beginning to weaken? Okay, that's a signal that we have a bearish divergence setting up. So we want to avoid the shares in that case. So there's multiple ways that I teach members about how to use RSI and Stokes. I'm loving here the stochastics. They're putting in a new higher high, and quite possibly, a higher low, and quite possibly a higher high. So, Axon looking very bullish into the new trading week. The next chart I want to go over is Deckers. This is more of a discretionary name, and there are a lot of discretionary names that populated my screener this week, and it's very odd because the economy is in such shambles, but I saw names like Cheesecake Factory, Deckers, Marriott, Hilton also populate my screen. I narrowed it down to the best ones though, and that's why we're talking about these. And if you're hearing an airplane, I'm doing this on my deck, so I apologize for any ambient noise. So let's talk about Deckers. Now granted, this is an expensive stock. It's nearly it's over $350 per share. So one way you could trade this stock is that you use a call spread, meaning you buy a deep in the money, what they call a 70 delta call option, and simultaneously sell a 20 or 30, depending on how bullish you are, a 20 or 30 delta call option to help finance the trade. And it helps reduce your cost basis on the position. Yes, it caps your upside potential, but really, who holds an option through to infinity anyway? So you identify where you believe you're going to have a bit of resistance above. If it's at a 20, 30 delta, sell that strike. That's where you're going to want to get out anyway, and that way you minimize the capital that you're putting to work on any one given stock, and you know your max loss immediately up front. So I'll teach you how to do that. Join 14-day free trial offer. You have a question in the members area, ask me, hey Bob, how do I open up one of these trades using the option strategy, a vertical call spread or a bull call spread? I'll get the hint and I'll walk you through it. So Deckers, what did we do last week? Again, these are all weekly charts. We broke out, folks. A clear and defined breakout of weekly resistance. Did I draw this resistance level? No, the algorithm did it for me on TrendSpider. I want to create an alert. I want to know if possibly as we did with the prior stock, Axon, do we pull back and do a retest of, I didn't want to do that, of weekly support, what should be weekly support, because we broke out above weekly resistance last week. And again, 14 days, plenty of time. That's my wheelhouse for keeping these alerts alive. And our alert is set. And this is where they're stored right here. If you're wondering, hey, how do I get over there and check out what my alerts are doing? And they're all over here. I could check out seasonality. This all comes with your subscription to TrendSpider. Normally going into the new trading week, it is up about 60% of the times. We'll be going over seasonality tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. The stock market, what are we doing on a weekly and monthly time frame as we go into November and even into this week? What are the probabilities of an upside move? Now, on a monthly time frame, Deckers going back 11 years, October we're only up 55% of the time. So take note of this. November, we're up about 90% of the times over the past 11 years. That is powerful data. Again, folks, they're a sponsor for a reason. I do not sponsor. As a matter of fact, they're our only sponsor. I only sponsor products that I use and believe in. TrendSpider, 35% discount code below. And they have a free trial offer. You don't want to join my service and get this for free? Fine. Take advantage of the 7-day free trial offer below. Take advantage of it. You can always cancel, and they have great customer service. Awesome customer service. Or I wouldn't be a sponsor. I can't deal with the backlash. So, great chart here. Deckers, we're looking for higher highs here. Look at that, higher low, stair-stepping higher, RSI validating, Stokes validating, loving it. Let's leave it off with Goldman Sachs. Now, I'm not overly bullish on Goldman Sachs. In fact, I debated as to whether or not I was even going to talk about it here, but let's do it. I decided to at least chat about it. I don't see a compelling reason to go buying the shares outright. Now, what would I do here? Well, we like to trade options. I'm not a big buyer of options per se. I like to generate cash flow, meaning I like to sell premium. And with Goldman Sachs, I'm kind of neutral here. I could see us trading sideways with a bias to the upside. I don't think we're gonna correct here even more. I think we've frankly seen the bottoms. I think that we have high interest rates. Banks like high interest rates because it helps their NIM, net interest margins. Bank of America spoke about that during the last earnings call. So Goldman Sachs looks pretty good. And what did we do last week here? Well, folks, we did exactly what I always ask a stock to do. First, from back here in June, we stopped going down. Then we rallied, we pulled back. Step number 2 is that we need to put in a higher low. Okay, step number 1, we checked that box, we stopped going down. Step number 2, we need to put in a higher low. Check that box. Now what we need to do is begin to break out above prior highs. That's step number 3. What did we do last week? We broke out and above a prior high last seen during the week of October the 3rd. Now what we want to do is create an alert. And this is if we want to buy the stock. Now the beautiful part about selling premium is that you really don't care per se where the stock is. All you need to have is a bias, a neutral bias, perhaps with a skew to the bull side or skew to the bear side, and you get an idea of how you want to place your strikes. So in this instance here, I'd be looking for I'm more bullish on the stock, so I'd be probably looking at a 30 delta strike to the put side and maybe a 10 to a 20 delta to the call side and just generate the cash flow because I'm more bullish on the stock than I am bearish because I think that, at least in the short term anyway, we've stopped going down. The chart is validating that for us. So if I want to put this trade on with the best risk reward with a bullish skew, I want to know when we hit support, or if I want to buy the shares, throw a few shares in my long-term portfolio, I want to know when we retest weekly support. So let's do it. Goldman Sachs weekly, and we'll keep it alive for, again, the next 14 days, plenty of time. And of course, what's going to influence this trade is how expensive are the options? Are they overpriced? They may not, because Goldman Sachs already reported earnings. That means you probably saw a little bit of IV crush, and the shares are moving up now. So you may have a little bit of a call skew. That helps us out in a way. But ideally, the options are still with an implied volatility ranking of 50% or higher. And if you remember, I'll teach you all about that. And that way you take advantage of not just time decay, but a potential for IV crush. So that's Goldman Sachs. We're set and ready to go here. RSI is putting in higher lows now and higher highs. Stokes are beginning to hook up. So not my favorite chart per se to put on this trading week, but in terms of options trading, certainly eligible for a neutral play, meaning I want to sell premium call side, put side simultaneously, going out 45 to 60 days. And that's it, folks. Guys, thanks for being here. Please like the video, tell a friend, leave a comment. Join us tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, and we'll be going live. We'll be taking chart requests from the audience, and I have a 14-day free trial offer to the Contrarian Trader. Take advantage of it. Cancel at any time. You can click the cancel button in your profile area. You don't have to wait for an email, any of this nonsense these other services make you go through. I provide a cancel button. Take advantage of it. Silver and gold level members get TrendSpider for free. You're not ready to join me yet? That's fine. Take advantage of the 7-day free trial offer to TrendSpider. Link below, 35% discount code. Everybody have a profitable trading week. Hopefully I'll talk to you tonight. Till then, have an awesome Sunday. Be well.